Good evening on a Tuesday night. My name is JW Colwell. Welcome to Loud and Nerdy. And I'm joined by my cohorts in crap. It's good to have you back, Kyle.
Yeah,
we had a pretty smooth run last week, but it is, I will say, Jerry missed you.
Oh, just Jerry. Okay.
Just Jerry.
I'm always the good guy, even though I'm secretly not.
Yeah, Jerry is the good guy of the three of us. I'm joined as always by my good friends Kyle Defina and Jerry Kamora. How is everything going, boys? How are you doing? Good evening, Ken. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. How you doing, boys?
Pretty good. Staying warm.
Good.
How are you feeling? Are you gonna get a Are you being offered a 7-month severance package?
No, not these federal employees.
Not those federal. Okay, I'm just asking.
No.
It came up anyway. So I'm glad everybody's okay. But you had a busy weekend. You were in New York.
Yeah,
Met the voice of the Rangers.
Rangers game. Met Sam Rosen.
It's the voice of the Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah. Melissa saw another show. Melissa saw the show. I just went to the game.
You just went to the game. So wait, you go to the game. She goes to the show.
Well, she went to the game and then left a little bit before the end of the game to make the show in time. But when you hit a lottery ticket for a front row seat for a Broadway show for $45, you jump at it.
Yeah, you go. I don't really like hockey all that much, and I'm out. I'm wearing colors.
Into the game.
But that's cool. What'd you guys do for dinner? Anything good?
New York City pizza. Nothing better.
That is true. That is one of the things about moving to Florida, and you had it while you were down here. The pizza is fucking abysmal. Like it's not even close to being decent. And so, Jerry, what about you? What do you got going on? I know your son was in Kansas City watching his team win. God, yes. I fucking hate his team so
They were out there.
His team is the refs.
Here changing brakes on cars.
Yeah, it's really hard to play a football game against all the refs and the Chiefs. So so you're working on cars?
I know people don't.
Yep. I did brakes on his car. I tried to do them on my wife's car, but I have to take it over to my dad's. He has more tools than I have. It's a Jaguar, so go figure. I mean, I was cursing at it in British.
I was going to say, aren't those notoriously... Like, there's one of the cars that everybody wants, and then you want it up until the point where you get it, and then you're like, I don't know that I want it anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to work on it.
Well, that's cool. Was it super cold out there?
Oh yeah, it was. I don't know. It was in the teens on Saturday when I did this. So
I think the only people from the Northeast would call it a pizza joint. Like I don't think any native Floridian sitting there going, "Yo, let's go to that pizza joint, yo."
Well, we're the only place that calls it a tray.
We're
it's a Jersey
pie. And I said, "Can you
shut your pie hole?"
Pizza? He's like, "Are you from Wilkes-Barre?"
Yeah. You know what they do down here that's fucking wonky? Well, I like that Joe calls it a pizza joint. It's crazy.
Wait, hold on. I got a list.
Well, they do a lot of stuff down here that's wonky. It all starts with the meth, and the Gators. But one of the things they do down here, white pizza down here is mozzarella, onions, and ricotta, and it's not like mozzarella, onions, ricotta. It's plops of ricotta all around ricotta, whatever the fuck it is. It's a cheese.
Mr. Cotta.
When they put it on, it's just a dollop all over the pie.
I don't.
And it's
know.
just like,
yes, Ken, it is.
Do they season it?
And I'll be there in 17 days.
No.
It's just plain right out of. They scoop it right out of the container and plop it on.
On the mozzarella. So you have these bubbling areas of mozzarella around hot warm ricotta.
Mozzarella.
And the first time we got it, we were like, "What the fuck is this?" And
gotta
then
use
every other
freezer.
time when we order a white pizza, we're like, no ricotta.
Ricotta.
Yeah. Well, they should, if they're gonna do that, they should at least flavor it. Like you put parsley and stuff in it, I think. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
just fucking dollops, and then it. And again, ricotta is not the most consistent of cheeses. When you put it under a hot burning oven, it's just melty. You know, ricotta can be replaced by cottage cheese, which is not great.
pretty
Anyway,
close, right?
um, thank you for pronouncing.
Ragout.
Jesus, stop.
Hey, my wife's Italian.
I
She
need
has
some
an Italian.
gabagool.
Gabagoo? What?
Gabagool. Gabagool.
Gabagoo. Anyway, I'll tell you what.
Ricotta. Ricotta.
Regat.
Ricotta.
Anyway,
Ricotta.
Jesus Christ, what is happening to the show tonight? We're already
You
out
have to
of
roll
pins.
the R like Spanish.
It is the loud and nerdy pronunciation episode.
It's a pronunciation episode.
Yes.
So one thing that we did not have
Pronunciate.
last week that came out Thursday. Let's talk about Oscar nominations. It's a big time of the year. The Oscars have arrived, boys. I was looking at it like I was thinking about you two in particular because you're not big movie guys, but I was just curious, how many of the best pictures have you seen? This is the best picture list. How many have you guys seen? 2. Can I guess the 2, Jerry? The 2. Well, I know. Well, how many do you have, Kyle? 2?
1.
1. Okay, so you've seen Wicked. And you've seen Wicked, and you've seen... I'm going to say, Jerry, you've seen Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I got both.
I already saw Nickel
No,
Boys,
I-
but he thought
I
it was a
haven't seen
Nickelback
Wicked.
documentary.
I didn't see Wicked.
Oh, what was the other one? The Substance. Okay.
The Substance
Which is a
of
bit-
Dune.
The Substance is a big deal because, again, it's... Again, anytime a horror film gets nominated for Best Picture, where there's blood and guts, and it gets out there, and you have a performance that everybody likes, and you have...
I'm still here.
You know what I mean? I'm Still Here is about Brazil in the 80s. It's a foreign film. There are two foreign films on the list,
Might be
one
a
horror
movie
film,
called I'm Still
2
Here.
musicals, sci-fi. Conclave, very easily accessible for anybody who wants to watch an Oscar-nominated movie and doesn't know what to watch. The leading nominations. Also, some of them are readily available right now. Brutalist is still in theaters. Complete Unknown is still in theaters. Dune Part 2 is on Max. Amelia Perez is on Netflix. And Wicked is widely available, soon to be on Peacock. Conclave is already on
Is on
Peacock.
is it Peacock or Paramount.
No, it's on Peacock. And so I've seen 6 out of the 10. Let's go through. What 6 have I seen, boys? Let's see if we can figure this out.
Well, I know you saw Wicked.
I know you
Yep.
saw Dune.
I know I saw Wicked, and I know I saw Dune. Dune's behind me, yes.
I remember you talking about The Brutalist.
I just saw The Brutalist, yeah. That movie, just so we're clear, 3.5 hours long, full 50-minute intermission, and the movie begins, Jerry. This will be something for Jerry. I don't know if it'll be for Kyle, but it'll definitely for Jerry. The movie opens with the VistaVision logo. And I giggled giggled like a schoolboy, right? Because there hasn't been a VistaVision movie since 68.
Can we get a demonstration of this schoolboy giggle?
No.
Yeah.
No, we can't. But what I would say is it was more like a chuckle to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, when you see something,
Was it
you're
a
like,
full belly chuckle?
no, it wasn't like a fucking doughboy chuckle. Shut the fuck up.
Woohoo!
It wasn't like Jabba. It wasn't any of that shit. But it's in
W the Hutt.
VistaVision. It's almost 4 hours long. It's got a 15-minute intermission, so you can go piss in the middle of it. Like, it's just
50 or 15?
15.
Okay.
15 full minutes. It counts down on the screen. It has an overture, It has it actually last night after we were talking about it, it led Rich and I. We decided what our Oscar decade cavalcade is going to be for this year's Generation Movie Oscar Decade Cavalcade. And it's all going to be based on possibly The Brutalist. But anyway, so I've seen The Brutalist, I've seen Conclave, I've seen Dune, I saw Amelia Perez recently, I've seen Wicked, and I saw the same day I saw The Brutalist, I saw Complete Unknown about Bob Dylan. Fantastic, really great performance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of need to see that.
I have not seen The Substance just because I don't know what happened. I haven't seen Honora, I haven't seen Nickel Boys, and I haven't seen I'm Still Here. The leading nomination movie is this movie right here called Amelia Perez, which I'm gonna be honest, it is a weird it's not a weird movie. It's a musical. It's in Spanish. It is about Mexican drug cartels. It is about a drug cartel person that is transitioning into a woman. And basically transitioning into a woman and then basically trying to figure out her life after the transition. And then, but it's about Mexico. It has one Mexican member of the cast, and nobody behind the cameras from Mexico. The film was shot entirely on a soundstage in Paris by a 57-year-old French director, a white French director, who doesn't speak Spanish. And somehow it's got 13 nominations, and it's just, I just don't know. Like, it's got a lot of controversy around it. Selena Gomez is in it, and she's taking a lot of fire because her Spanish isn't perfect. It has
Hola.
It's kind of
pronounces the H in it.
well, because Mexican and Spain Spanish
Thanks for pronouncing hola right, Jerry.
are very different. It's like ricotta. But so there's a lot of controversy there. There's a controversy about the transgender side of things because she's very duplicitous. So there's a whole side note that it takes all the tropes, negative tropes that have been about transgender people, and kind of expound. But the people who champion the movie don't feel that way. And then it's again representation behind the camera, in front of the camera, for a movie about Mexican drug cartels and the missing people killed by Mexican drug cartels, to not have a single Mexican person working on it. Like, then the other movie, leading nomination, that movie has 13 nominations for that movie. The other movie that has the two others leading nominations is The Brutalist, Adrian Brody, and it's basically about a world-renowned architect that survives World War II, comes to America, falls in line with
That's not coming to America.
It's almost like The Pianist. Did he play that role already?
Well,
kind of.
No, there's a lot more going on in The Brutalist. It's epic. It's long. It's about the immigrant experience. Kyle needs coffee before it goes up. Ooh, interesting. About to happen. It's definitely gonna happen. If you're a coffee person, I wish you the best. Next couple weeks.
I'm buying a second freezer just to stock.
Although I think they might have fixed it. I don't know. It's all threats now. Anyway.
The plane has landed.
It's a pretty great movie. 10 nominations, pretty epic. Only made for $10 million, but it does have a slight controversy going for it as well, in that the editor admitted that he might have used AI to fix some of the Hungarian accents and pronunciations. A little bit of hot water there. The only movie that doesn't have any controversy, what happened, is Wicked. 10 nominations. For Wicked, but Wicked is falling into the Dune area where people are saying maybe we won't reward Wicked this year because we know the sequel's coming out, and we'll reward it next year when the entire movie is one unit. Best Actor and Best Actress. Let's talk about those quickly, and then we can move on. Best Actor, you got, it's a pretty tight race. You got Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. He's fantastic in it. It's pretty, there's a lot more going on about the immigrant experience. He loses his wife, and then he finds her. He gets addicted to heroin pretty early on. It's pretty brutal. Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan, fantastic, completely immersive, and is so good at Dylan songs now. Went on Saturday Night Live last week, sang three unknown Dylan songs, and kind of killed it on Saturday Night Live. He was fantastic. Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for the very controversial The Apprentice, which is the Donald Trump movie that didn't get released very much. But there are 2 nominations for that movie. Sebastian Stan, the supporting actor, the kid from Succession, who plays Roy Cohn, who is a person that basically groomed Donald Trump into what we have, the president of the United States. 3-way race here, boys. Timothy Chalamet, Fiennes, and Brody. Fiennes is great. Conclave, you would both like Conclave. Conclave is super interesting. It gets a little wonky towards the end, but for the most part, it's basically about picking a new pope and all the politics and all the different pieces that fall into all the fucking bishops fighting amongst themselves.
Until the white smoke comes out of the poom.
Till the white smoke comes out. Best Actress, you got, it's pretty tight race, but it's very historical. Demi Moore for The Substance. She gave a great speech at the Golden Globes. She is the current frontrunner in basically a career movie where she gave the speech of her life at the Golden Globes that has, kind of sent her on her way to being the big frontrunner. Cynthia Erivo, who's fantastic in Wicked. Mikey Madison, who's really great in Anora. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez is the first openly transgender actress to be nominated. And Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, which, again, is not a movie you think it is, Jerry. It is a movie about Brazilian political corruption in the 80s in Spanish. So just bright as they storm the Oscars. Will they move the Oscars to a state not on fire? I would assume the Oscar nominations were delayed 3 times. I would assume that they'll find a way.
Well, they just had those raids move through. I'm sure it helped bring everything under control a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's going better than it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
I've been told Lou Adler did lose his home.
Well, all the help that people can give is also, American Red Cross is always a good place to donate. You're going to contribute to help make a difference for families. Remember, folks, not everybody that lives in California and LA is rich. We all have. I have friends out there. I'm sure you both guys have somebody you might know out there. They're not making bank and they don't have giant mansions. And fuck. We should be more helpful when people are in trouble, as we would want. If a hurricane blew through Florida, we want people up in the air. If you guys have a snow event in Pennsylvania, we want help. You know what I mean? Like, fucking suck it up. Just everybody be helpful. Don't be like condescending. Just fuck. But anyway, box office this weekend, not great, kids. You know what the box office is waiting for, boys? A Marvel
Avengers
movie. Yeah, we need a Marvel movie. We need Harrison Ford as a giant red,
Hulk.
Hulk. Box office was not great. It was, just we had Flight Risk grossed like $12 million, and everything's kind of settling down from Christmas. Wolfman is completely finished its tanking. So
It's because it's not about a wolf, like you said.
it's not a fucking Wolfman. Is what the problem is. Mufasa was in second with 8 million. One of them days was in third with 8. 8.5 for Mufasa. And then Sonic was at 5.3. And Sonic and Mufasa domestically are right on top of each other. 225 to 220. The next couple weeks will tell. But all these movies have made, like most of the movies from Christmas have made decent bank. We need new movies. I Flight Risk though is not one of those movies that it's got some of the poorest. No, it's not the wrong time to bring in the Hydra Avengers. They're coming. It's okay. We're okay. We'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Everything's gonna be great. Flight Risk got some of the worst reviews of the year. I'm like epically bad reviews. Mel Gibson directing, Mark Wahlberg. Movie's an hour and 26 minutes. I was looking at it, I was thinking about going to see it, and I'm like, should I go see The Brutalist, or should I go with my AMC token? Should I go see The Brutalist and A Complete Unknown, or wait and go Thursday to see Flight Risk? And then I looked at the reviews, and I was like, yeah, let's do the Oscar movies. Oscar movie sounds good. Cap doing a Roman salute. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Cap. I don't. Theoretically, he won't be Cap.
On your right.
On your left.
On your left.
Jesus. Complete Unknown was really good. Anybody who likes music movies, although I don't know that it had. I was talking to somebody about it. It's really good, but I don't know that it has the through line that Walk the Line has. Mangold did both of them. James Mangold, and Walk the Line is very like. It's just it knows what it wants to be. Brutalist is amazing. I've already seen The Brutalist. I know it's amazing. I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's I wouldn't say it's the best picture. I think it's in line to be best picture. We'll see. Oh well, that's cool. Brutalist is really good. It's epic. It's long. It's not for everybody. And for anybody triggered, there are some things in it that you would, it gets a little rapey. Just letting people know in case you might be triggered by that. But anyway, Complete Unknown was really good too. I like The Brutalist as well. We'll talk about movies that are coming out. Did anybody see the Sinners second trailer today? This movie?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
This movie is jumping up my list. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, directed Black Panther and Creed. Michael B. Jordan in dual roles. I don't think Blue Beetle is going to win. Jasper, I'll leave it there. Going to win what? Yeah, there's a future. Which one we need?
Razzie.
If you're not very long pictures. I appreciate went back to old school, putting an intermission, doing a long movie, but definitely a great historical film. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie made for $10 million, and you go, wow, looks like it's a $50 million budget. You know what I mean? What else? But Sinners trailer came out today. New trailer gives a little bit more what's going on in the bayou. Basically, it follows a World War II person that comes home to see his cousin or his brother, depending on what's going on in the trailer. I don't know. And basically runs into musicians that can conjure demons. And basically, think the devil went down to Georgia kind of thing, which is super cool.
Musicians with the Devil. Remember that movie, yeah, Race with the Devil?
Yes, musicians so good that they can bring demons into the swamp, kind of thing. And there's a heavy vampire, there's a heavy vampire thing in the trailer. There's also heavy vampire rules in the trailer, because apparently everybody's in a big house, a big kind of gin joint, and the vampires have to be invited in. So you know what it reminds me of, Jerry? We haven't talked about this in a long time. It reminds me a little bit of Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, which I think is one of the best horror films of the 90s. Right? The idea that the demons can't come in unless you invite them in. And we've had those rules in vampire movies too. But it's creepy. There's one piece of the trailer where they're all kind of hiding in this gin joint, and there's a full band at the door that knocks and just starts playing music. It's like, you want to let us in now? It's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Where you're like, terrified. Like, just terrified. It looks really great. And Coogler's a really good director. And Michael B. Jordan is a really good actor. And Selling of the Soul at the Crossroads of Playwell. Yeah, it looks really great. It looks like I don't think I've been excited, as excited in a while about a horror film, just because it seems completely original. It's got Michael B. Jordan firing a Tommy gun. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we need more Tommy guns in movies. You know,
I wouldn't
that
mind
looks really
firing
cool.
one of them.
There was a Superman thing that happened over the weekend. Commercial played during the AFC Championship game, and people flipped out because they felt there was CGI and in the face, and James Gunn had to tell everybody to calm the fuck down. There's no CGI, you crazy people. Because we can't have nice things. But I was telling somebody else last night that I think the reason everybody, it sounds like it's definitely worth the look. The Lexi? Okay. I would say the Looksy, maybe. But what I would also say is the Superman CGI thing came out a few days after somebody was watching Kraven the Hunter at home, again, one of the worst movies of last year, and found Ariana DeBose's face and eyes weren't matched up with what she was saying in a scene. And so they were playing it next to each other, and you could, like, her eyes are rolling in the back of her skull during this one scene where she's talking about something, and you're just sitting there going, that shouldn't happen. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. And so then all the CGI stuff, stop hating on Kraven. No, absolutely not. Nope.
You got to say it. You got to say it.
Kraven. Anyway, such a bad movie. It's so bad.
Don't want to clip of that.
A movie that made so little money. It also, and this is a shocking turn of events, it might cost him the role of James Bond. That's how bad Kraven has been received. He is no longer the front runner to be James Bond because of it, which would be absolutely. I literally started the original Roots in the '70s. I've never seen it before, so when my housemate heard like me. Okay, it's a great miniseries. I watched it when I was a kid. Okay, so Kolchak it's not the Night Strangler,
Night
yes,
Stalker.
the Night Stalker.
Yep.
And yes, Kolchak is great, and it's
I prefer
Kolchak.
the Scranton Strangler.
It's not Kolchak. It's Kolchak.
I think I have that too somewhere.
Chak. Yeah, those TV movies and that show, phenomenal. Darren McGavin. That I think that is the grandpappy of the X-Files. Right? That is the show that if you watch that show, he's a reporter. 4 minutes, and the fact that you watch it as a kid's a little like would have been rated in our lifetime. Yeah, but remember the stuff I was watching as a kid though. I saw Lawrence of Arabia when I was 7. So I saw King of Kings, which is like a movie about Christ, when I was like 8. And I couldn't there are things you don't understand, but my dad was very adamant about watching certain things. So, but I mean, a rewatch might not be a bad thing. Okay, so are you talking about? Are you saying that the second TV movie was different, or that the episodes were different? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Jasper. So the show is called Kolchak the Night Stalker. There is a Night Strangler film. It's 1973. Night Stalker's first. Night Strangler is second. Came out in 73.
Richard Ramirez,
Who's on third?
Night Stalker.
But it's still I think it's still it's still Kolchak. So it says Kolchak above it. So yeah, there's two. There's two different ones. And then the first season of the show is also like the episode titles are so nice, Jerry. Ready? Episodes from season 1 of Kolchak the Night Stalker, 1975, 74 to 75. The Ripper, Zombie, They Have Been, They Are, They Will Be, Vampire, The Werewolf, Firefall, The Devil's Platform, and Bad Medicine. Fantastic! It's one of the greatest shows ever made. It's it's right in line with everything Night Gallery. It's right in line with and I think they did try to redo it, right? No, they didn't. Okay. Again, but they are doing things with comics, and they're doing some things with. I know William Catt is associated with. Okay, but I don't know if they actually found grounding until possibly is because there were a lot of things left to the crack, such as frontal nudity. Yeah, again, Roots was one of those TV miniseries where they slap disclaimers on it. You know what I mean? Like, since Joan Jess and JW, I feel like you guys can kind of guide that conversation. Oh yeah, cast and crew user Kolchak, Demon, and the Mummy. Okay, yeah, I think. Is that the new one? Is that the one William Catt's doing? William Catt from the Greatest American Hero is doing. I think he's reading some of the Kolchak graphic novels or a new series of graphic novels, and he's doing the reading. Like, I think he's playing the character, which would be cool because he would. I don't know that he could be the character, but it wouldn't be like Kolchak coming back wouldn't be bad. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a bad comeback. Although the problem is, anybody who's seen them, it's like trying to revive Columbo. I went back and watched the first episode of Columbo on Peacock, because Peacock has every episode of Columbo. And that first episode, like, he was Columbo. Peter Falk was Columbo right from the get-go. Like, and it was just an incredible, like, it's just something when you watch some of these things from the 70s where they are immediate in how they hit you and how different they are. You know what I mean? We're the golden time of television though now. Anyway, let's see. What else we got? Like, from whenever it's a lot of because I have questionable feelings from the Blue Lagoon Roots. They're on daytime TV. It was really up to the parent to kind of get that kind of guidance. Like, when did censorship become so hardcore? Well, I mean, it started mid '80s.
When they shot JR.
No, it started mid '80s with not a fan of Mrs. Columbia.
NC-17.
Well, no, it started in, I would say, the hardcore censorship. Like, think about the '80s and think about any of the times that we're talking about.
Tipper Gore.
Tipper Gore and the censorship issues with lyrics was like 85, 86, 87,
That's where
88,
it started.
89.
Right there.
And I would say for movies, it started. Who was that? Emma who? Emma Stoner. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Stoner.
You said it.
I said it. Anyway. Well, I thought it said Emma Stone. I'm like, there's no way Emma Stone's watching this. Anyway, so I think it started in, I would say, 84, right? We're talking about Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That creates the PG-13, right? So we go, PG movies up until that point had a bunch of stuff in them. You could get away with nudity. You could get away with one or two fucks, depending on how you're playing. But 84, when Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out, big uproar. Following year, Red Dawn is released, first PG-13 movie. And some would argue there's not a lot in Red Dawn. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would say that's where it started for movies. But you also look at, like, mid-30s, 40s, people couldn't be in the same bed. You know what I mean? Like, we've always been standoffish about, like, think about I Love Lucy, right? In the 50s. She got pregnant, had a child, and they were still in separate beds. So
That happened.
yeah, lots of nudity and those kind of things. There's something called Cannibal. A movie called Cannibal had a lot of female frontality. Most of it only was feminine, not masculine. Well, that's always going to be. That is a much bigger topic. That male frontal nudity is shied upon, whereas female frontal
Not
nudity is.
lately. I think in the last 10
Well,
years.
there have been strong comebacks,
Watch some
right?
Italian horror movies from the 70s.
Yeah.
Now I know why you got such a big horror collection, Jerry.
Believe it. Yeah.
The Secret of the Crying Game is out.
They're for me.
But I would also they're for me. Listen, was that your wife saying they're for you? Listen to your wife saying she wants the D. Anyway,
No, definitely not.
Can't get enough.
you do have two kids. Anyway,
He's white.
so but the interesting
I
thing
do have
here
two kids.
is
You just said it. Just saying. Go ahead.
They're not yours.
Yeah, they don't
No,
look like
they
me.
got hair.
wow.
They took my hair.
Wow, and things. It was that night on Loud and Nerdy. The things took a dark turn. Foul language, drugs, alcohol, and later in the '90s, cigarettes. Yeah, but it was like it always comes in waves, and it always comes with certain movies that start whatever. The '90s, you had the NC-17, right? So the two movies I can think of in the '90s where things went out of control, kids wasn't rated though.
No, it was an NC-17.
Kids when it first came out wasn't rated.
I think Bad Lieutenant was too, right?
Yeah,
The Harvey Keitel.
the NC-17 movies that really kind of caused all kinds of controversy enough where you had to actually shield the theaters that were playing the NC-17 movies. I know my dad played Henry and June, right? At Henry and June, which was a movie about
like a Rooker, Henry Lee Lucas.
the Tropic of Cancer poets, right? Anais Nin, right? And then the other one they played was the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover, which is just it's about cannibalism, it's about sex, it's way over the top. They eat a dick at the end of the movie. They literally eat a dick at the end of the movie. Everybody, not just everybody.
That's a 70s horror movie for Jerry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think
all
it goes
about
in.
that.
It goes in. It goes
Like
in.
Stalo.
Manja.
That's a movie from the 70s right there, buddy.
It goes in and out though. Like it's not something where, and other thing about Roots, allowing nudity in Roots, I would imagine one of the things that could come across in Roots was probably they allowed the nudity and everything because again they did not want to fuck in any way. You know what I mean? With the fucking source material, like they didn't want anything to do with. Somebody on ABC goes, "Hey, I don't want to show this nudity," and then Alex Haley
artistic and historical.
Yeah, and that's
dictation pass almost too.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it's a it's you're gonna get fighting there. Just the idea of like the idea that they would take away something where it might be reviewed as this landmark book that's Alex Haley's writing this book and you don't want it you don't want it kind of like it's being adapted like that's something you could see adapted again, right? The ratings, by the way, just so we're clear, we're not talking when I say the TV ratings for the original Roots, we're not talking regular rankings. We're talking all-time television ratings. Part 1, 82, number 82 all-time. A 61 share, 28 million households. Part 2, 32 share, or actually 62 share, 31 million households. It also went up almost every time. Part 3, 27 all-time, 31 million households, 68 share. Part 4, 35 all-time, 31 million households, 66 share. Part 5, 21 all-time, 32 million households, 71%. Part 6, 18 all time, 32 million households, a 66 share. Part 7, 50 all time, 30 million households watched, 65 share. And then part 3 is the third highest of all time, ranking wise. 36 million people watched that show on January 30th, 1977. And this particular miniseries went 8 consecutive days. So it's January 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 1977. So 48 years ago. And then basically number 3 all time. So we're talking behind the MASH finale. You know, they're not going to fuck around with that kind of stuff. Wonder Woman 3's Company, Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Battle of the Network Stars, Teenage Baby. Yeah, I think, there is a certain thing that can be said. My husband, your husband's not telling you what you can watch. You watch whatever you want. But I mean, I wouldn't do it while you're working. It's not the happiest. You don't want the N-bomb to get into, N-bomb is liberal in that particular miniseries.
Oh, I mean, she is a big fan of speak to text. So I mean,
I could get ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
that was the one.
I think there are also flashpoints, movies or TV that are so like the 90s. In 94 we had Natural Born Killers, right? Everybody was up in arms about Natural Born Killers. I will say that as a society, you're talking about frontal nudity on any kind, we are much, much more akin to allow violence than we are to have any kind of sex.
Yes.
we are way okay with violence, but not really great with somebody's peen being on camera.
I think Japan they've got us in the violence category as far as horror goes.
Korea, South Korean movies right now are also like,
and Italy's right there.
Italy's right there. But that was always the thing. The sensibility of the Europeans are always, they're usually a step ahead, or Europeans or Asians are usually ahead of us with what we're watching.
They have no holds barred with their horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
Over
that's
here
that's a good call, Missy. But yeah, I mean, going back and unlocking shows and watching stuff, super interesting to do. That's part of the reason we're doing Twilight Zone. I don't know what we're going to do after Twilight Zone. I had thought
the monsters.
The only problem with doing Tales from the Crypt is nobody. Jerry, you and I theoretically the only people that watch it, because it's not anywhere. It's nowhere to be found. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that Tales from the Crypt is not on Max. I can't believe that Dream On or First and 10 are not on Max.
Dream On was a great show too.
The Outer Limits would be great. I think Night Gallery would be really good.
Night Gallery would short one next to Firefly.
Firefly's only 13 episodes.
Yeah, it'd be a quick short one.
Firefly's only 13 episodes and a movie. I was also thinking about Buffy, but Buffy brings with it and all kinds of there's all kinds of stress with Buffy. Buffy has all kinds of, like, would you view an episode like Tabula Rasa totally differently, knowing how much? Yeah, but that's not good. I don't think that's good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. But that's the thing. Like, the '80s shows that we grew up on aren't necessarily. We could do Alfred Hitchcock Presents. I think it's too similar to the Twilight Zone, though. And I was thinking about Night Gallery.
Dive into each guest star's background that they have on for that week.
For what?
The Love Boat.
Jesus Christ. Well, like,
Chara!
Everybody brings up the Love Boat. I like on that. I think cinema is a good way to remember our history, the things that are hard for us to see, and emotionally affected in ways. I expect maybe we should take more breaks because it's really just hard to see where we're coming from, where we are. Very important to remember that this was our history. The good, the bad, the ugly, and maybe a journal. Yeah, I think cinema is a great way to figure things out. Next, Ren and Stimpy. I still know the
Oh,
logs.
no. Pinky in the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain would be the Animaniacs. Because Pinky and the Brain was a special episode on Animaniacs.
Liquid television.
This week on Gilligan's Island, who's coming to the island to screw him over from leaving this week?
It's always Gilligan. Gilligan's always the one that fucks up. But yeah, I mean, what show we watch after Twilight Zone? We still got a lot of time.
Small
considering
Wonder.
Small Wonder.
No.
Voyager.
Well,
We're gonna
actually,
do
there you go, Jerry.
a deep dive on
I'll
Alf.
see your Small Wonder, and I'll raise you an Alf. Because
Alf,
Alf was a
there you
great
go.
show. Alf was a really good
That
show.
was a good show.
Alf also has the second best Letterman joke of all time. Letterman once held a picture up when he was on NBC, and the picture had Alf on a TV screen next to a Christmas tree. And he said, which one of these things will not be around after December? And he's like, both. The answer's both. And he was just ripping on Alf. Anyway, I wrote to Letterman about that. I was pissed because I like that. Okay, good place to.
I think you segued
Gordon
into
Shumway.
your little Twilight Zone thing.
I can vote for Small Wonder. Absolutely, the show when I was growing up. Yeah, but it's not a good show now. Like, there are some things that need to be left. Late to the party tonight, migraine. I hope you feel better, Raven. Let's go. It came from Jerry's basement first. Deep dive into Mork and Mindy.
Mindy,
And a
yes.
deep dive into Happy Days. If you know, you know. So we're clear.
What? Because Chuck went upstairs and never came back?
No, if you're saying, Jerry,
I know. Mork made his first appearance on Happy Days, but
there you go. Okay, thank you. Don't
they
act
had
like
to
you
get
don't
rid of the
know.
big brother so Fonzie could move in. I mean, I get it.
It came from Jerry. It came from Jerry's basement. So what movie are we watching? Are we looking for? Where can we find it this week, Jerry?
Tonight's movie is Nail Gun Massacre.
Yeah, Nail Gun Massacre, and the Snorks. Get out of here! No Snorks. I do the Snorks.
Fraggle Rock! Fraggle Rock!
I would do Kid Video because I love Kid Video. Nail Gun Massacre, Jerry, talk to me about this. The tagline is because it's less heavy than a chainsaw.
Yes. And this one says it's cheaper than a chainsaw. A very
The one is
penetrating
that
story.
it's less the carry. And this is a 1987 direct to video, just direct to video
Yep.
slasher film written by Terry Lofty. He filmed it in the Dallas region. Do you know what the budget of this movie is, Jerry? This is one of the
Probably pretty
particularly
low.
bad but fun 80s horror films that you and I rented at Oral's in Lake Ariel. $50,000 on the budget on this one. And it, basically follows a guy. There's a guy, basically
A woman gets brutally
assaulted.
raped, and all of a sudden, someone comes back and starts killing people with a nail gun.
You just reminded me.
Pretty
of-
simple
this
plot.
has
Pretty easy.
Nothing to do with Jerry's.
Look at the hand.
but I was so disappointed I didn't have one of our cards on us in New York because I walked past a guy holding a sign out that said, "Need $40,000 to make a kick-ass sci-fi movie," and he had a little hat in front of him. You don't know how bad I wish I had our card on us right then and there to just be like, "We need you on the phone, on the line, buddy."
We need you on just because we want to know what $40,000 movie you're making. Although I would say it might be easier now. Fraggle Rock was awesome. Fraggle Rock was excellently well done. 1987, Magnum. This company, I was researching this company, Jerry, right? Magnum Movies. They didn't release a lot, and this is one of the only releases they bought it at Cannes.
Magnums in a can.
They bought it at the Cannes Film Festival, the film market in May 1986.
This is on YouTube, by the way.
It's on YouTube, and also just so we're clear, so Jerry is not bringing up movies that don't matter. It is widely regarded as a cult film from the '80s, and it was screened most recently at the very famous Texas Frightmare Weekend horror convention. The remake they tried to do recently needed to stay in the basement. Fair. But yeah, like I said, these movies from the '80s. I think we're gonna get a good slasher. I think there's a movie coming out in a couple weeks that I'm super excited about. From the first trailer on, I've been kind of like I like slasher movies. You and I have talked about this, Jerry.
Yep.
I view them as my favorite kind of like movie. Like I love horror films that are
Like
slasher
Dress to
movies.
Kill.
Dress to Kill, Valentine, My Bloody Valentine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
The Prowler.
Prowler. These are movies that when you watch them, like they're not like, they all have a basic premise. People do die horrifically. Some of the kills are better than others, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, and you
Even
kind of
The
just sit
Hand.
back and you know what I mean?
Remember The Hand? Michael Caine?
The Hand. Well, and remember, there's a movie that caused an uproar, right, in the '90s. What was it? What was the Hand movie with Devon Siwa?
Idle Hands?
Idle Hands. Yes, thank you. I could just went up on it. That's '80s flick, April Fool's Day. It's good. It's not.
April Fool's Day is good.
You still got to acknowledge this one though, JW.
Yeah, we're agreeing tonight. We are, and that doesn't happen often. Craven still sucks though.
So,
But
really
anyway,
had to go there. All this Fraggle Rock talk though did make me remember. Disney is shutting down the Muppets 3D on June 8th, I believe.
yes, Disney is shutting down the Muppets. Universal is shutting down Rockin', the roller coaster, not Rockin' roller coaster. The can't think of the name of it. The red roller coaster. It's right on as you walk into Universal. So we're getting some big time shutdowns. The Muppets.
Well, Aerosmith roller coaster shutting down too.
Yeah. Well,
But that's going to be repurposed into a Muppets theme.
I just thought of a joke.
What's the
I
joke?
just thought, well, what did Kermit the Frog say after Jim Henson died?
I don't know, Jerry.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh
It's
God. It was fine. It was
Batteries not included. That's a good movie.
decent. This movie though coming out in 2 weeks, Gary. You seen the trailers for this?
No.
Hard Eyes, Romance is Dead. The key here is the killer on Valentine's. It's coming out for Valentine's Day. It's coming out February 7th.
I like the logo.
Key here, first off, neon red eyes, so the eyes blink and glow in the dark. And the killer is only killing couples, which to me is turning a slasher film on its head. Because the whole point of a slasher film is what, Jerry? Who are we killing? Sexually active teens.
Yes. Teens.
I appreciate the fact that you don't like Craven. Kyle also don't like Craven either. I will say if Craven's better than John. No, we can't. No, we can't agree Craven's better than John Wick. No.
Why? Because Craven didn't do it for a dog?
You know what was better than Craven?
No, because
Monkey
John Wick
Man.
has Keanu Reeves.
You see that Monkey Man?
John Wick has 4 films, and John Wick has grossed close to $1 billion.
Monkey Man was
Pretty
better than
easy.
Craven.
First time horror Valentine flex has been done. No, it's not. Oh no. Okay, yeah, it's not the first time a horror Valentine flex. I think My Bloody Valentine's great. The seat of the reboot, not good. Not as grimy as the original for whatever reason. Also had the stupid reveal.
You can't have the professor without Marianne, Jasper.
The Professional? Are you talking about Are you talking about Jean Reno? I don't. There are sometimes I'm trying to keep up with Jasper. Yeah, Hard Eyes looks really good. That opens next week. Also opening this week. Read my comments. Where Joe Ridgely? Devin Sawyer is in this. Book him. He is in.
I put them up, Joe. I can't control him though.
Okay, is in Hard Eyes? Is Devin Sawyer really in Hard Eyes? No, he's not. Is he? Yeah, that would be amazing if that's true. Holy shit! I like Devin Siwa. He's really good.
Now you're on to something, Joe.
I'm checking original Amazing Story from the '80s. That would be interesting.
That's good.
That would be a good thing. Devin Sawa is in it. Holy shit! Jordana Brewster's in it as well.
This is called show prep, people.
Well, sometimes it's called show prep. I do whatever thing. So it's the producers. The producers of the new movie Hard Eyes are from Scream and Megan. But the movie that I think is going to make people the most excited about, I do like Devin Sawa. Maybe we should book him. That'd be great. I'd like to talk about Hard Eyes. We need to see it first. But what I would also say is, movie opening this Friday from this is called Producing. Yeah, it is.
It's
it is
springtime in Germany.
In Germany, yeah.
Or Elon.
Companion opens this week. Sophie Thatcher, Jack Wade, written and produced and directed by Zach Kreger, who made this little movie called Barbarian. This movie, I think the second trailer gave away too much, but this movie looks amazing. It opens January 31st. Opens this weekend. It's basically about a meet cute between these two folks, Jack Wade, who's super hot, the boys and all these different things. Sophie Thatcher on fire right now. They do a meet cute, and then if you've seen the original trailer, she's putting her hand over fire and can't stop herself. And since everything, the second trailer's come out, basically involves AI, but Zach Kreger is the person you need to pay attention to here. He is the guy that made this little movie called Barbarian, and he's an up-and-coming horror movie director producer. He was part of The Whitest Kids You Know. He started sitcoms Friends with Benefits, Guys with Kids, and Wrecked. But he made Barbarian, and he is the hottest director going right now. He has 2 movies in the pipeline. Companion's one of them. Weapons is another one. It's a horror film. Listen to the cast on Weapons. Are you ready? Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Aiden Eichenreich, Benedict Wong, Austin Abrams, Amy Madigan, and June Diane Raphael. This guy is super hot, and Companion is going to be the movie to see this weekend. Heard it here first.
Is that what that movie's about? Is it a robot?
Yeah, I think she's AI.
So it's like
the second trailer gives a lot away. No, it's not Megan. It's more sex bot.
Cherry 2000.
Yeah, a little bit maybe. But that opens this weekend.
Good movie though, right?
That looks a great movie. But as the time has come, we're running out of time, and we're a little bit over time. But here's the thing. Let's go to the Twilight Zone, kids. Twilight Zone Redux. I'm going to tell you right now. As Kyle leaves, I'm going to tell you right now. This particular string. He leaves, and then he leaves the fucking comment up. You see how that works, Jerry? He has one job.
Yeah, we're getting into the ones where I remember seeing some of these now.
Well, and this string. Okay, so I was looking at it, right? The episode tonight is called Eye of the Beholder. The string is The Howling Man, The Eye of the Beholder, and next week we get Nick of Time, which is a very classic episode with William Shatner about a little machine at a diner
I'd
table.
love to have one of them.
They have them not for sale, but they have them. It's one of the few things I've actively told my wife I want to steal.
I know, right?
Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. It's the only thing I want to steal. I thought, well, that's true. I thought Kyle wasn't. I thought he was going to try to participate. The Flying Monkeys is going on. Yeah, that's true. But I also don't want him participating if he doesn't want to be here. So the episode you're back. I'm glad you're back. This is a very famous episode as well. So we have 3 episodes in a row that are super famous. This episode is called Eye of the Beholder. It is the season 6 of season 2. Opening narration. Suspended in time and space for a moment, your introduction to Miss Janet Tyler, who lives in a very private world of darkness, a universe whose dimensions are the size, thickness, length of the swath of bandages that cover her face. In a moment, we'll go back into this room, and also in a moment, we will look under those bandages, keeping in mind, of course, that we are not to be surprised by what we see, because this isn't just a hospital, and this patient 307 is not just a woman. This happens to be the Twilight Zone, and Miss Janet Tyler with you is about to enter it. So it is a fascinating episode where basically this woman, the doctors and nurses are around her. There's darkness everywhere. She only wants the bandages off. She only wants to go out into the garden. She only wants to see what's ahead of her. She only wants, all these different things. And basically the whole episode is basically about her, the nurses and doctors discussing her discussing her condition with the doctors. She's described as hideously ugly, terrifying, all these different things. And basically they've tried 9 times to fix her. 9 times, Jerry, to fix her face. And even as a child, she was picked on because she was different from all the other kids. And it's heart-wrenching. It's a terrifying, and you don't get to see her face. And the episode is all shadows and darkness, and the nurses in the shadows, and it's such an amazing trick.
They build up that suspense because they take those bandages off so slow. Right?
Oh my God,
now we're getting to the last one.
Well, finally, the episodes the mom was watching. My mom looking before she would pass, so I feel we can actually, because I've seen these episodes. So they start pulling the bandage off, and the camera angle is amazing because you're watching from her eyes, from behind the bandages. So my idea is they must have fucking wrapped the camera, right?
Yeah.
And just kind of and it's incredible. And so it plays out, and the doctor's like, we don't know what's going to happen. He removes the bandages, and she is not changed. But this is what the doctors look like.
Oh,
the doctors and the nurses, they all look, and also in the background of this wild episode, Jerry, how cool did Rod Serling know how televisions were going to be in 2025? Because in one scene, a television lowers from the ceiling, and it's just
the leader,
a pane of glass with the leader talking about how we're going to root out all that are different, everything that's different. The artwork is absolutely amazing, and we're going to talk about that. The artwork, all I could think of watching the patterns of the hospital and all the different things, it looks like Beetlejuice. It looks like the Beetlejuice, like when they go down the hallways, or when Danny DeVito is like cleaning up in Beetlejuice. So there are a lot of things on display. This is the makeup that you see with the doctors and nurses. This is what they all look like. They all look the same. Everybody looks the same. Men, women, children, everybody looks the same. And the eventual end of the episode is that basically Janet Tyler is told, had views into the future. Well, that's what I mean. It's either the production team had views in the future, Missy, or the people watching this show are so far, were so inspired that little bits of subtext, context crawled into your brain. So she's basically told she's got to go with her people. She's got to go with her kind, which is, again, a scary thing because, again, she's going to be placed with her kind, which, and this is the guy that picks her up. He's gorgeous. He's a good looking man in the 60s. We're thinking it's head tail before they should have gotten tilt because it's the original. And then basically they basically send her on her way where she's going to go, and her mom enjoyed the series. Something she was sharing. This must be bittersweet. I think we have all of a TV series that reminds us of loved ones. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. My dad and I, before he passed away in 2000, we had watched the entirety of The Sopranos. So up until that point.
You still can't say ricotta.
Still can't say it right. Prosciutto. I can say prosciutto right now. Anyway.
Gabagool.
So, but it's a really cool, they had two different actresses playing her, one under the bandages, one unmasked, right? Closing narration. Now the questions that come to mind: what is this place, and when is it? What kind of world where ugliness is the norm and beauty the deviation from that norm? You want an answer? The answer is it doesn't make any difference because the old saying happens to be true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In this year, or 100 years hence, on this planet or wherever there is human life, perhaps out amongst the stars, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Lesson to be learned in the Twilight Zone. So this episode got remade for the 2000 revival of the show. You know, he also reused this. He loved this particular screenplay so much he reused it for Night Gallery. There's an episode called The Different Ones where it takes place in a future world where basically a disfigured boy is sent on a NASA rocket where the inhabitants are revealed to look like him. You know, during this transfer of rockets, he meets a boy who's going to Earth because of his problem. You know, Stuart Reynolds basically also helped with this. He threatened to sue Rod Serling for the use of the name. So this is and again, music again, Bernard Herrmann. This is directed by Douglas Hayes. This is an original Rod Serling episode that he wrote, and a screenplay he really loved. So one of the all-time greats, right? And we've had The Howling Man, we've had fucking Eye of the Beholder, and then next week, Jerry, on this show, with you and I, not Kyle because he doesn't want to participate. Next week we get Richard Matheson writing Nick of Time.
To show up.
Nick of Time, and basically that is William Shatner. That is the scariest demon machine you'll ever see. A little devil that keeps on telling him what to do when his car is broken down in this southern desert area. It is a very common retouched theme in sci-fi. But what I would say is they do such a great job of hiding everything. Another movie I was thinking about, right? You know, a movie this kind of reminds me of a little bit. And again, I wonder some of the times these things that people have seen. But this episode reminds me very much of Vanilla Sky. Right? Where, like, somebody's under bandages, we don't know what's happening. Story changes depending on how the bandages are taken off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Kyle needs to bring back the narrator.
Yeah.
Talking about the
put
Funko
them
Pop.
up lately.
The pop, yeah. I don't got them up here with me yet. I still haven't finished moving everything around.
I haven't finished. I'm working on finishing mine. I mean, I have more posters because we were cleaning out another place and finishing
I
up.
added that one.
Moving all my stuff.
probably-
Oh, that's not. It is a nice poster. It's not as nice as the thing though.
The movie's not that great, but the poster's awesome.
Poster's phenomenal. Okay. Touched by an Angel was a TV show that always reminds me of my grandmother because that's what we always watched together. Cool. Maybe that'll be a good poll. Maybe we'll put that up in Loud Nerdy. Give us a show.
Highway to Heaven.
Give us a show. I'm not big in it. The
I like
Angel
Highway.
series always rub me the one way. Also, like Highway to Heaven's weird because it's like Michael Landon looked better on Highway to Heaven than he did in the 70s when he was on Little House on the Prairie. I'm binge watching. The way we were doing it when we watch one week and we talk about it is the way that Kyle watches. What? I will make this offer. Kyle can binge. He can binge the whole show. He'll be ahead of us.
Yeah, trying to find a
you
day
just
to
signed
do
your-
that.
What was that?
I was gonna say, not with the work schedule he has.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand it's something that Jerry and I are sharing with everybody, and that's I don't mind that Kyle's not. I'm not mad at it. But anyway, Jerry, what do you got going on? What do you have?
Here you- Yeah, won't show.
Green screen.
Green screen.
Do you
Yeah,
not know
but
how
the mash, goodbye, farewell. And
the
amen.
largest watched television series in history?
Yeah, that's because Missy B brought up MASH, watching MASH, but
MASH would be interesting as well. MASH was really long. MASH was like, wasn't that like 12 seasons?
Yeah, it's
Those
pretty long
episodes,
show.
those episodes are like 45 minutes apiece.
No, they
I
were
would
20
think it's about
minutes episode.
20-minute episodes. That would take us like 20
Yeah, it
years.
was a half-hour series, so it's like 18 minutes.
Okay. Oh, suicide is painless. I do like that they. I do like there's a bit of Missy's censorship. They never sang the song on the MASH show. Only in the
No.
movie did they sing "Suicide is Painless." Um, get your Valentine chocolate early before that goes up too. Whatever. Anyway, hey, I bought you that.
Yes, she
Okay,
did.
Jerry, what you have any shows coming up? What do you got going
can.
on? What's going on in your TikTok?
Um,
How is TikTok impacting you right now? Are you okay?
yeah, I'm fine. It's still up. I have doing Instagram and this Clapper now, that app a little bit, Facebook, YouTube.
Yes, I binge watched season 3 of Ghosts this week, and the Traders all caught up.
Trader's amazing. Best show. Is it? I think it might be my favorite. I love Survivor. Don't get me wrong, but the Traders is so gut wrenching to
Eye of the
watch.
Tiger. Oh, a different Survivor.
Oh, Big Bang Theory. No.
Yeah.
Did learn a thing. Thanks, Jerry. Don't play it though. Don't do that because we could get hit with copyright.
Yeah,
Gotta be less than
it's
5
happened
seconds.
already.
Has it already happened?
Yeah, it happened once. I saw one come up across, not with us, but one of the other shows on the network.
Oh no,
And
we
yes,
did.
it is a true story right there.
It was definitely.
Match was on in the room when our daughter was
Oh,
born.
that's interesting. That's fun. That's interesting.
And
that's fine.
me and the doctor were talking about MASH, and then all of a sudden, the labor went so quickly, the doctor barely had time to put gloves on because we were talking about MASH.
That's great. I'm sure Missy feels great about that.
Yeah.
Ghost UK or US. That's not bad.
Both.
Like I said, I want to do something that stood the test of time. Jerry, what do you got going on? Any big shows coming up? Anything going on?
Well, in February, we're playing out at a place called Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey. That's about it for shows right now.
Awesome.
We sort of
what do you
hibernate in the winter.
Just want you sort of hibernate and fix cars. Watch your son go to Kansas City for championship games. Fuck you.
True.
Anyway, sorry. I'll say it again. Kyle, what do you got going on? Anything big? We're in the 50th anniversary year of Rocky Horror.
A lot of things actually that unfortunately fell into place, and it looks like I will be performing again this year and helping break some new people in. And I guess Sweet Translucent Dreams is looking for new active members, and that's on one front. Another front, our friend Cosmo, who runs Cosmo's Factory, the oldest and biggest Rocky Horror website, is rewriting the audience participation book, and we've been kind of helping him out a little bit. And then we're started before the whole thing with Sweet Translucent Dreams happened, we were thinking about doing a one-off show here in Scranton that got booked at the same time, and we're going to be doing Rocky here in Scranton one more time, but under a different cast name we're going to use called Once in a While Players. And if you know Rocky and some of the deleted scenes, you'd get that one.
That's good. I like that. I like that. The Once in a While Players. Okay. She gave birth to MASH. I had to deal with a foursome on Nip Tuck. Fair. Prettier people. Let's go Chiefs. No.
Both of her parents were
Also,
Chiefs fans.
I understand. That's fine. I'm not judging her. I hate the Chiefs. I always hate the Chiefs.
You can't
and
like the Chiefs. You're a Raiders fan.
I'm a
You're not
Raiders
allowed.
fan.
It's like honestly though, it's like me with Buffalo.
Yeah, it's like when I was
You're not allowed
younger,
to like
I
Buffalo.
used to watch Ken Dawson on Inside the NFL, and I used to actively boo him whenever he spoke, just because he was like, "Oh, he's the douche from the Chiefs," and he
Even when
was
Joe
like a lot
Montana
of
went to
Raiders
the
fans.
Chiefs,
A lot
you
of
were like
Raiders
that?
in the 70s. What was that?
Even when Joe Montana went to the Chiefs, though, like
I was super excited when Joe Montana got hurt by the Raiders when he played for the Chiefs. I was so super excited his career
The
ended.
one highlight in the last 25 years.
Chester McLaughlin,
Jasper,
baby.
notice how he didn't read that one. Anyway,
We love you, Kyle. Yeah, I can't possibly read every one.
everyone but that one. What do you got going on, JW? You ask us all the time, but what do you got going on?
Oh, well, we got a lot of the good things going on. Put up Missy's comment first. Let's see. The Raiders aren't in the Super Bowl. That's true. I agree. We're not in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're ever going to be. Let's go Chiefs because they're better than the Eagles. Here's the thing. I am rooting for a meteor storm. Spontaneous combustion, lightning strike,
It didn't
cyclone.
happen in,
I really wanted
it
the
didn't happen
Lions.
in November. It can't
Hurricane.
happen now.
No, there's no need to grease the light poles in Florida. There's no winning teams in Florida. Sorry, Jerry.
True that.
I'm just jealous because Chiefs have been bringing it home for 3 straight years. Look, I'm going to bet you haven't seen every Chiefs Raiders game. I'm going to bet that you have not seen every Chiefs game, and I'm going to bet that I've seen a great more Chiefs games. And I'm going to tell you they get more calls than any other team. I hate
That's
the
how
Eagles.
it was
but-
with me with the Patriots.
Yeah, it's they
Patriots
get more
called
calls.
it.
They get calls. Again, the Eagles thing, I'm gonna have to root for the Eagles. I'm actually not gonna root for the Eagles. I'm gonna root for Saquon Barkley because I think he's a good kid who never had an offensive line, and now that he has an offensive line, he's the best back in football. So I'm gonna root for him.
And
Okay.
that's what JW has going on, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, I was getting to it, but then we got no fight. Here's what I got
There's a lot
going
of good
on.
stuff going on.
I do this little show called Generation Movie. We are starting our Oscar Decade Cavalcade next week. I'm not even gonna pay attention.
The readers.
We're starting the Oscar Decade Cavalcade next week, and we are starting
Good
with
movie.
one of the most phenomenal movies ever made, 1957, The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, that's
next
a good
week.
movie.
William Holden, Alec Guinness, Jack Hawkins, one of the greatest World War II movies ever made.
Stupendous, greatest.
It's
That's
one
a
of my
good
dad's
movie.
one of my dad's favorite movies, and it's absolutely one of the greatest movies ever made. Anyway, and then we also want to give big shout out, big props to Gabe this week. Symbolistic Cynicism comes back on Wednesday night at 10. He is having Monica Keena on from Night of the Demons, Freddy vs. Jason, Dawson's Creek, Entourage, Man of the House. We wish Gabe the best. Hope he has a great interview with her. And then we will be back next week, 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Indie Escape Network, Loud and Nerdy. Thank you for watching tonight. Everybody have a great week. Go see some movies. Companion opens Friday. Peace out.